Hi everyone, here's another short video with regard to your IP database, sharing it with IC and mapping, and what I'm going to focus on today is going from mapping to building correlations. From within IP we can see our well list and access IC to build our maps, and from our maps we can build correlations. Now that we have IC open, we can open up one of our previously saved maps. We can see our queries all layered on top of each other and our keys showing us the results. From here we can identify wells that we want to look deeper at, look at the subsurface, and from there, right up at the top tool section, we can pick our build correlation. Now once that's highlighted, you see it's in orange, we can then pick the wells of interest to us and build a correlation. So you can see the data is missing in some of these wells. We'll build a simple west to east correlation, and on the right click we can build the correlation. This will open up the correlation wizard, which you can access directly from a blank chart if you want to insert a correlation not from the map, and you can use any kind of ordering system of all the wells in the project to build that correlation. So the first step, we need to understand what depth range we want to look at. Do we want to look at the entire well? So we could apply the limits. This will search the entire database with all data and find the minimum and maximum depths associated with each well. We could also go and look for a particular data type. So for example, our tops. Limit our depth range to our tops range. Or we could go in and look at a particular zone within that data type. See the values change easily. What we'll do next is determine the scale. As we're looking at a few hundred feet, we'll pick a decent scale. We can manually change these separations between the wells, and then we get to pick a template. So what kind of data do you want to display? I have one here that has some of my interpretation and my basic curves. Or I could go in and pick an example from IP. I could also go in and pick a particular template saved from IP. The last tab is the auto tie tab. This allows us to draw between those wells and colour in a zone, for example the tops. Once we build a chart, we automatically get the wells displayed based on their depth coverage. So you can see in the west I have a deeper well section than in the east. These are all manually changeable, so I can drag and move these, change the scales one at a time, move them left and right. I can, however, set the horizontal spacing based on the well position or a particular event down that well. So there we have our horizontal scaling distances based on the location of these wells. And you can see between the wells I have ties that are showing each of the zones in each of the wells. From here I have the ability to scroll up and down through the logs, and you'll see that the ties disappear as the coverage of each well is changed. I can also zoom in on a particular zone or zoom out. I can reset the depth alignments. From one of these. Zero depth will set us back to the way we began. Now this might help us understand if there are faults breaking up the sections of the basin or the field. It also allows us a chance to add in our own interpretation. So we can format and edit these ties directly. So we could go in and change the colour of this to stand out compared to the others. We could also edit these ties, split them and draw in our depiction of a fault, for example, and have these move as they used to be and modify these individually. These vectors become something you can modify to help you depict that structural change. When it comes to editing data and with ties associated, we can actually have them be updated as you change your interpretation. You also have the ability, as we've seen there, to move them independently, or keep that boundary coincident at the new depth. Okay. From there we can insert a map and show us the line of correlation alongside these wells. And that's one of the options on the map directly. Make it a bright red thick line, we'll be able to identify it. You can see it here, and if we update that map, we should be able to see that, there we go, on our chart. And that's the beginnings of a montage, which we can talk about later. And that was our IC correlations. What we went through was building that correlation step by step directly from a map. We spoke briefly about templates and how to build those, or how to use your IP templates, adding ties, modifying that visualization of your correlation on the chart, and accessing the data and modifying any interpretation directly from your correlation. Any questions, please do get in touch. Thanks for listening.